Yeah,
All right, what we're doing today here, we're here at our first ever Ebony family retreat. Give it up for the house of Ebony. Yeah. So what we're gonna do today, as we this is an interview with our icon founding father and our overalls. Let's get a little history lesson and find out about them. Right now, you got myself and you got Dalen. We're right here on camera, and we also have our family in the background. Can I get an E? All in the house right now. And we're gonna try to make this a good time, but we want to find out about our icon founding father and our overalls. And we're gonna kick it off like this. Can you please? Oh no, you know what, Dalen? First of all, let them know who you are, because tens of child know who the hell I am. Who is you?
I am legendary Dalen Ebony, the international overseer of the iconic House of Ebony.
Give it up for Dalen. Doing his thing. All right, now we're gonna go down, and my first question is gonna start with Pops. Your name, where you from, and how was life before you found Ballroom?
My name is Larry Ebony. I'm the icon pioneer, 4-time Hall of Famer.
Oh.
Founder and father of the House of Ebony. I started at 778 Hancock Street, Brooklyn, New York, in 1978. The reason why we started this house because we wanted to build a family. And
hold on, Bob. I said, what was life like before?
Oh, life before Ebony. Sorry, life before Ebony was the streets for me. It was the free base. It was the angel dust. It was the heroin. I had a two bundle a day heroin habit. I was a hustler. I was a thief. I stole stick out of shit. It was a way of surviving because we didn't have everything that this generation had. Every man was for himself. And so wherever any means, it was about $1 to survive. When I started, minimum wage was only $2.35 an hour. And so it took a lot to survive. And I learned that my parents gave me what I needed, not what I wanted. And so I had a mother, Irene. She said the carpenter made the doors 2 ways. I said, Mom, I had to leave it and go out. And I went into them streets. Them streets whooped me so bad. I'd be home in the summer and locked up in the winter. I'd be locked up in the winter, be home in the summer. Until I caught a bid. I caught a 5-year bid. And that's what really got me out of them streets. But it was on survival mode.
And what city was that in?
It was in Bedford-Stuyvesant, Brooklyn.
Now we got our overall mother. Can you tell us your name, where you from, and life before all this ballroom stuff happened?
My name is Latoya Ebony, overall mother Ebony icon. I'm from Chicago, Illinois, and life before ballroom, it was regular. I was kind of like sheltered, came from a family, mother, father, married, you know what I'm saying, all that stuff. So I had a little different upbringing, but it was kind of sheltered, but regular shit was going on. So, and then me just evolving as a woman, went to sex work, found myself employed, and then ballroom.
How was Chicago around that time? Before you?
It was the gangbanging era. Yeah. Before they knocked the buildings in.
Okay. Now we got our overall father, Bam. Ebony, can you tell the people your name, where you're from, and what was life before all this ballroom stuff came about?
My name is Bam Ebony. I'm the overall father of the House of Ebony. I'm from the Bronx, born and raised. I don't know, life for me before ballroom, just like Toya said, life for me was regular. I come from a single mother who basically did all she can do to take care of me and my sister at that time. And I think during my time, I ran with different people. Life was a struggle in the streets. And I believe I went through a long period of being homeless before I actually came into ballroom, because I think that was during the time of me trying to figure out what lifestyle I was kind of straddling, because I have kids. So for me, I was always a father taking care of my kids. So before Ballroom, I was chilling. I was a young dude doing what he had to do.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna give it to Dalen so he can get one of these questions. We're gonna bounce off of each other. Then you can give him one question, then I'll come back with my next one.
Okay. So my first question is, what inspired you to create the House of Ebony?
Well, in the early in the 70s period, right? Black people had nothing to call its own. And so when we took the idea from Ebony Magazine and Jet, because Black people, if you made Ebony Magazine in the 70s, you made it. You was somebody, you was recognized, you had power, you had beauty, you had style, you had money. And so me and Richard, we sat down and we say, well, that will fit us because we all of this. And that's what Ebony came about, because that's the only thing Black people had in the 70s to say was their own. It was Jet Magazine and Ebony.
Now, when you first started it, I know you said that it's Ebony and everything, and from our talks and everything.
Yeah.
What was it before Ebony, and why did you change it to Ebony though? When you went that route?
Well, before the House of Ebony came about, it was the House of Energies. Yeah. The House of Energies was, by me being down with the 5%ers, the House of Energies was a bunch of DL guys. And I had met Richard. I had just came home from Sparpit for doing a 2 years bid. My mother sent me away. And I did a 2 years bid and I came home for Sparpit. Richard Sears, the founding mother of the House of Ebony, liked it my real brother. And so I walked in the house and Richard was like, who is that? He said, that's my baby brother. And the first thing I said, girl, please, that he didn't know I knew the language. And he looked, he's like, you know, he looked at me because I always lived a straight life. Even though I'm a gay man, I lived a straight life. And so after that, me and Richard really clicked. And then he said, well, let's do something together. And we sat down and we came up with the House of Ebony.
Okay.
Awesome. I got a question for Twin. How did you come about becoming an Ebony in your ballroom career, and what was that journey like for you?
Well, it was different for me because my son, Legendary Tootie, actually, he introduced me to ballroom. So he was here before me. And the first ball, I was in Chicago. Because I used to read them like, baby, I'm not going to lead a show and go get judged by them. And they were all to get up and leave. And then, like, girl, just come. So then I came. I ended up sitting at the table. Berlin was a drag in, and she was the mother. And Dre was there, Papa. And he said, put her in my house. And that's how I got here.
Awesome. And Uncle Bam, how did you come about joining the House of Ebony?
Well, to be honest with you, I don't really know, to be honest with you, because I think it varies for me sometimes. Because Fuquan, during my homeless time, I had ran into a group of gays that had lived up on University Avenue. And I just started like going over there because I needed a place to rest my head. And it was like Fuquan had a bunch of people in there. Alyssa used to be in there. Mike used to be in there, who did old way back then. And I just was there too. And I think what happened was they created like the House of Essence. And I kind of fell in the lines of the House of Essence, but it was really the Ebony's low key. I don't know. It's so weird for me because Ashley brought me into Ballroom. Dre brought me into Ballroom. So my life in Ballroom kind of bounced around from different people because I wasn't sure like if this was something I wanted to do during that time. So I could say a lot of people kind of brought me into Ballroom, but I would say my first ball that I actually walked, I sat the Ebony's. I do remember that. It was at the clubhouse. I sat the Ebony's.
I wasn't what?
Yeah. So with that, what you're saying, that experience, which leads me to my next question. I'm gonna start with Pops. When you came in the ballroom, your first ball and your first ball experience, can you give us kind of like what was that like when you just stepped into ballroom and an actual ball? Like, how was that? How was life back then?
It was scary. It was scary because my first ball was Pepper Evasion Ball. And I didn't understand the concept of how to walking, and Richard and Gene, they kept saying, just not Gene, excuse me, Raymond, just be yourself, be yourself. So I went out there, I was myself. And so everybody know my signature when I walk. I would slap a nigga on their butt. I call them bitches and hoes and all of that. And so I learned how to do my signature. And so the guys that I would compete in, he like embarrass them. So I made them I treat them like girls. And every time I walk the ball, I treat the dudes like girls that are competing against me. And I got real confidence because back in the days, I wasn't nice. I was very handsome. I walked in mostly with categories because after realness, they wanted me to walk body. I had a stick in the body, and so I started walking body and started winning body. And so I got my nerves together. And as the more balls I walked, I got better at it because I didn't have many balls that y'all had. I only had 2 balls a year to get ready for. When I first started walking balls, I only had 1 ball a year. And then they got me ready for the first money ball in Jersey. That's when I started wearing evening wear. I won grand prize that night. And so as I started performing and walking better, I started, knowing the craft of ballroom, of being real. Because I knew that a lot of the guys that I walked against, they would read, they would, pop their fingers and girl please, child please, and all that. I never done that because back in the days, I had a boyfriend and a girlfriend that I used to bring the ball because I am a father, a real father of kids. And so I used to bring my girl and my dude with me to the ball.
So it's a lot. Y'all like, whoa. So Pops, when you say that, I understand that's when you was walking and stuff like that, but I remember you telling me something about trying to bring Ebony into Ballroom.
Yeah.
Who was running Ballroom before you started bringing the boys in?
When I came to Ballroom, I got permission because it was a film queen balls. So I had to go to all the top film queens, Avis, Tennille, Pepper, Crystal of Asia, Dorian Corey, Paris Dupree, and I had to ask permission that can I bring the House of Ebony in? And they said, hell yeah, y'all fine. Said, yeah, you definitely. And so when I asked them, they said y'all could bring the house in.
I have a follow-up question to that. This is something I learned over the weekend. What was the first ball that the House of Ebony walked in, the first moment that was made?
Well, we had so many moments because when we came into Ballroom, not just by you being walking realness, our first moment when we broke our first window, and that was Gucci. And we came in there, everything Gucci, and we shut the ball down. Then our second moment, we went and did Louis Vuitton. And we had the Louis Vuitton steam trunks and about, not exaggerating, probably 100 Louis bags. And when we was pulling the steam trunks out to the runway, our bogas got out the steam trunk, throwing Louis, started bogging out the trunks.
We might have to recreate that.
With the fake Louis.
No.
He's with his face.
So Toya, I'm gonna go to you with that one. When you walked your first ball, how was Ballroom back then? Because your icon and everything, but when you had gotten the ballroom, you were walking your first ball. Give us that experience when you walked in. You were like, oh, I'm gonna go out here and do this.
Well, I don't know, because again, Tootie kind of just whisked me out there, and I don't know what the fuck to do. Like he said, I was just standing there. Thank God I walked realness. I was just standing there. I'm like, what the fuck I'm supposed to do? They're like, just smile, and I'm like, okay. And my latest battle was icon Mario Balenciaga. Yeah,
The doctor.
that was my first win. Yeah.
And that was your first. Okay. Doc, she got you.
I have a question for our overall mother. There was a point where you were like reigning like undefeated.
Oh,
What year did that start when you really became like the realest ruler?
Well, I came in 2003, so I want to say maybe the first 2-3 years was like a little struggle. And we had came in under the Alicia Keys era, she was at Scotland, then, so it went from her then the song to me, Cece, and Shauna, and then I just kind of never stopped.
the real thug realness, film queen out there. So when you start walking your ball, Bam, that first ball you walk, like, give us that experience of ballroom and how it was when you walked that first ball.
I think my first ball was actually, I think it was the clubhouse in New York. I actually went there with Ashley Icon. I knew nothing. I knew nothing about ballroom. I knew nothing about clubs. I knew nothing. It was actually packed. I was nervous because I never seen like so many gay people in one place. So I was nervous. I was new. I was just coming out, and I remember them calling a category, and I don't even think it was called realness. Then it was called Banji something.
Bush Queen realness.
Yeah, Bush Queen realness. And I'm just looking at people go, up and down the runway, and I'm like, what the hell are they doing? Like, what is that? So as I'm standing there, Ashley just pushed me on the floor. And she just pushed me, and I just stood there, and she's like, go up there, go up there, go up there. And Dre was actually one of the judges. And the experience, it was cool, but it was weird. But it was cool. I don't know. It's better today, though. Ballroom for me is better today than it was then. Because I think I found my way just being the man that I naturally am still to this day. So that's it for me.
Can I? I want to piggyback off of Bam. You wasn't in board when you was on the underground.
Right. That's fact.
So that's the difference.
Can you tell us the difference between being in the underground and being in ballroom?
Well, underground was a secret society. Mm-hmm. If you was a part of the underground, you wouldn't know where the board was. Mm. It's not like today that the board's on the internet. So by us being in the House of Ebony back then, we knew where the board was. Mm-hmm. And if you was one of my friends and stuff, you would know because I took you, but it wasn't publicized that everybody knew what was underground. It was underground because they were opening doors at 12 midnight and the ball is over at 12 in the afternoon. Yeah. Marathon balls.
Marathon ball.
We didn't have no cover charge. Mm-hmm. We didn't have to pay for no table. We just had big ass trophies. 6 feet, 7 feet, 8 feet trophies. That's what we worked for.
So that brings me to another question, because we always talk and stuff like that. And I remember you telling me, can you please tell them how y'all didn't have long lines of people walking balls and why? The reason why?
No, we had a scandal sheet, okay, and we had a sign-up sheet. And so when you came into the ball, whatever category that was walking tonight, you had to put your name on a sheet before. When you come in the building, once you give them your ticket, because we had raffle tickets, so every house member was give us like, here, I'm gonna give the House of Ebony 20 tickets, or the House of Honor, here go 20 tickets. So everybody sold tickets or give you tickets, because I think Ballroom was $5 when they started charging. It was $5 a ticket. And so when you come in, if you walk realness, you have to put your name and what house you represent. And so once the board get to a capacity, they would come and get all the sheets. And so the commentator, that's what the commentator's supposed to do. They're supposed to call each individual off that sheet. If you ain't on the sheet, you cannot walk.
So that's why they used to be on time, because if you wanted to walk, you had to get on that sheet before the call time. Now we don't have a long lineup.
And the balls were short because we had a score thing. We had 1 to 10. So you might have one judge give you a 1. This judge gives you a 4. He give you a 6. And at the end, they tally him up with the highest score. That's the winner.
So that means sometimes you didn't even have to battle if one person had the highest score.
Right.
Everybody else, thank you for coming out.
They didn't have chops, because if the lowest score is a 1 and the highest is a 10. So we only used 6 judges back then. And so each one of them would give you a number. And so you got the 7th person is counting all the numbers. And so at the end of the category, the person would say, well, he's got 23, he got 14. That's how they tell the grand prize.
Okay. So now you can get finished with them all. If you can't add no more, I guess. Okay. And then Dalen, one of your questions.
Um, let me shift here. Can you explain the loyalty in the brand of Ebony from the white and red era up until now? And how was that loyalty backed? How did that carry over to the way the house was ran?
When I was the overall father, we only had one mother, one father. We had nothing else. Me and Richard ran the whole house. And if you became Ebony, you Ebony for life. Trust me, if you left Ebony, you'll get your ass whooped. And you would never come to another boil.
At all.
You couldn't leave the house. You couldn't leave the house. That's why I have alumni that been with me 40 years or every year. You know, because we family for life. We just don't leave family. And we may not agree on something, but at the end of the day, we still a family. Family works things out. And to me, that was my vision, was to be family. And you have to be loyalty. And loyalty that everybody don't have that. Because when the chips is down, you want to go somewhere else. Or something don't go your way, you're ready to go. You don't want to fight. You don't want to fight for it. You don't want to put something into it to get something out of it. You just want to give up and throw the cards in. But in my era, you couldn't throw the cards in. And no other house will accept you. Because when you left the house back in the white era, you couldn't go to no other house.
Okay. So I'm gonna go with Toya. Toya, when you came in Chicago. Back then, what was the Midwest given when it came down to Ebony in the Midwest when you came in?
I don't know. It was like real dominant because Berlin was the Vogue film mother, and that's when her, Raven, and Milan had this battle thingy, and then Lavelle was the father. So they was real strict on us. And Tiana, we had a lot of meetings and a lot of dinner nights and slumber parties and all that shit. But yeah, everybody was like real close knit.
Mm-hmm. And what did loyalty look like to you, Ben, when you had first came in? Went with your counterparts in Ebony.
So I came in under Dre. So loyalty to us was everything. The Realness Boys only ran with the Realness Boys. We didn't really deal too much with the other side of the house. Dre always kept us like little soldiers. So we were the boys that protected the brand of Ebony. We protected the ladies. That's just how I was raised. So loyalty to me means everything. I'm big on it. I stand on it. And I came under a good troop, but I had some real fellas I was running with under Dre. And just like Larry, Dre brought the niggas to the scene. You know what I mean? And I mean street niggas, like grab them from the basketball court on 25th Street, pull them in, they be at the ball walking. So loyalty, I'm bred in that. I believe that if you ain't loyal, you can't move forward with anything or anyone around you that's snaking you. You just can't. You can't do it.
And been in the scene. How long you been in the scene now?
Watch yourself.
36 years.
It's about. So I drifted in 91, but officially, Ebony wise, was 93 because you're 23, right? 2000.
Yeah.
So I came 93 because Tori came. So 93 is official EBONY for me.
And the reason why I asked that is because when you first came in, now that you see yourself now, how do you feel about being in Ballroom that long and being in the House of Ebony that long? If you had to talk to the person that came in when you first came in.
Oh. Say it again.
How do you feel about being in ballroom that long?
Well, for me, it's cool because first I didn't gravitate to ballroom because I just thought I did not fit into that space because, like I said, I'm a father, so I always was home trying to take care of my kids, grind, do what men do. But ballroom actually made me the man that I am today. Because a lot of what I do in ballroom, I just do naturally. So it became part of my life. I do think ballroom today is a little different from 93. But it's just ballroom.
And so, how do you feel about that? Like when you had first came in, you did go out there and stuff like that. Now you've been in this long. If you could look back over it, how do you feel about being in ballroom this long?
I mean, I enjoy it. It's like the willpower, the commitment. It paid off for me. So I mean, I'm flourishing. I'm enjoying it.
Now, Pops, yours is a little different. Now, when you started this house, with everything that's going on back then, which you couldn't speak on when it comes down to actual ballroom, did you see Ebony making it to almost 50 plus years?
No, I didn't see it because the reason I didn't see it because I want to say in our first 5 years, I want to say, not exaggerating, we probably buried 50 kids. Because when we first started House of Ebony, we was going through the AIDS epidemic. And it didn't have no medicine. We didn't have no clinics. We didn't have nothing. And so the kids was just dropping every week. And so it was a scary set. Every day you had to worry about, is I'm next because, my era, I came up in free love. I don't know if y'all know what that is.
You know what? Raw is law.
Yeah.
That's free love.
Yeah, free love. And back then, orgies was big. Bathhouses, peak rooms, bookstores. And so, and that was part of our hustle, and so it changed a whole lot when my first years of boardroom because you were with me this year, next year you're not with me no more. And over the years, I just watched a lot of kids deteriorate, just like our founding mother, when she got sick, I watched her go from 250 pounds to 40 pounds in front of us. We watched that. We watched so many of our kids just deteriorated. So it gave me a different insight of life behind boardroom, and I learned from it and it taught me, this is a part of my growth. I thank God that to be here, sit here today at 66, and not be positive, don't have no disease. You understand what I'm saying? And I've been through it all, and I watch this generation here that y'all have so much at your disposal. Y'all have so much education behind the background of our sexuality, that y'all can get help for, but we didn't have that chance to get help for nothing. And the ridicule that we got from society, because back then, y'all wouldn't share no blunts. Y'all wouldn't drink behind nobody. You couldn't even come in your own mother's house and touch her silverware. You couldn't sit at your own mother's house and eat a dinner because you were contaminated. My mother left her brownstone in Brooklyn 3 floors to give it to us. My mother didn't care you were sick. My mother didn't care. She'll come in there. Today your name was Donnell Bradley, and now today your name is Cashmere. My mother used to walk up to him, "What's these?" My mother used to tell us DeRay and Margot and all of them. She used to tell them, "Y'all pretty, but I've been a woman over 60 years." But y'all pretty though. My mother was a Christian woman. She was a pastor. Not one time my mother questioned me. And I had my first lover live with me. But my mother never asked, what did y'all doing? My mother used to put me out when I ordered with Ebony.
Damn.
Put me out. My mother would put me out if I start arguing with Anthony. Get out, Larry. Anthony, you go in the room. Yeah. So my mother accepted. She gave us a space. And I don't know if y'all heard of her, Miss Minnie. Miss Minnie was Richard's mother. See, our mothers, when we had boys, our mothers cooked for us. See, the fattest your table was, that know you was a fab house. Cause your table looked like Thanksgiving at the ball, you was a fab house.
Amen.
Because our parents would cook for us, so we could bring all the food to the ball.
All right, now we're back. We just came from the break. Before we get started, because we had a couple of questions, some of the kids have questions, some of the members, we all have questions and stuff like that. We're going to take the time for that. But I know y'all probably like, who's the lady behind everybody that's sitting in the back that just got here? We're going to take a quick pause and introduce yourself. Who are you? Where are you from? And how did you get started in all this ballroom stuff? And who brought you here?
I'm Tiana. I'm from Chicago. And I am the overall godmother of House at Kingdom.
Wow. So how did you get started in all this ballroom stuff? Like, how did you like?
I was like 10 years old. My mom used to be best friends with this drag queen named Coffee. And I always wanted to know, what it shows, because she would come up to my house and get dressed. And I'm like, what the hell is, why is she coming here to get dressed? Not knowing that she was doing the same thing that I was going to do when I got over her. So, it was Coffee and Stacy. Those was my mom's best friends. My mom only hung out with drag queens. I don't know why. She was not a lesbian. So they always used to come up. They used to get dressed, and as I grew up, I found out what they was doing. And then I found in Chicago they had this place called the East of the Rhimes. I went there one time. I was like around. It was like a couple of years later. I went there and I saw Coffee and Stacy there, but I hid so they wouldn't see me. And I'm like, okay, this is kind of cool. I always knew I was kind of, a woman anyways against that. But I never told my mom that I wanted to be like Coffee and Stacy. I met this guy named Rashad, and he used to walk face for the House of Ebony. I didn't know what Ebony was. I didn't know what the ballroom scene was or anything. So I met Rashad. He was like, "Oh, you should come out. You should be in my house." I'm like, "What the hell is a house?" So as time went on, we talked about it. I joined the house, and then this was in. You tell me about my age, but this was like some years now, and as the years went on, I met Dre. Dre came to Chicago. I met Roy, Jihad. I met all of them because they was like, "Well, we heard about you. We want to see you." Jihad them had flew me to New York. I got there. They loved me. I turned it out, and I'm here.
Thank you, my round of applause. That was very, very, very interesting. Okay, so we understand that we had from that first segment, y'all had a lot. It was a lot to take in. So don't worry about it. It's been recorded. Y'all can always go back and look at it and stuff like that. But do we have any questions out there in our Ebony studio audience? Because I can't see y'all because I'm blind. Megan, pick 'em.
So it's Mateo and then Kenya.
Natea.
You said in the white area that you could not leave a house and go to another one. Was that just for Ebony or all around the board?
It's all around the board.
Was that your question?
Yeah.
Who was that, Kenyon? Kenyon?
Yes. So the House of Ebony has been around for a lot of transition. We've been around for the bloodlines of Ebony, the bloodlines of Ballroom. We've been around for the after COVID, like, you know, the internet era, all that. But one part of the internet like era that blew up, like when Twitter came out and Ebony Magazine had tweeted, "We are not part of that crazy ass house." What did that mean? Because I know you like Carla said, Ebony Magazine had already posted a lot of y'all. They were very affiliated with y'all. So like, what was the key behind that? Like, what was that about?
Well, back then things wasn't copyright. Like now, because some houses is getting sued now.
Okay.
So it wasn't copyright. And so we had seen different articles about the House of Ebony from Ebony. And they just thought it was a key. You know what I'm saying? There was something just to talk about because they know we wasn't involved into the stories and stuff or the different platforms. They didn't even know what Underground was. They just thought this was an organization that piggyback off their name. So it wasn't no repercussions behind it, like trying to sue us or anything like that. They let us make it.
And in that time with Twitter, when all that stuff started coming out in social media, because that's what I was looking into when we were trying to find, like, do we need to go incorporate? Do we need to go? They could not do anything to us because just because we came from, they ever heard the story, we're called the iconic International House of Ebony.
No,
you can use
right.
Ebony in many things. You see what I'm saying? So you can't sue us for being the iconic International House of Ebony. We didn't say we're Ebony Magazine.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So,
but people don't realize we didn't have Twitter. We didn't have no internet. We didn't have we didn't even have MySpace.
Yahoo.
Yeah, we had Yahoo, but everybody couldn't afford Yahoo.
And now Yahoo in a white area.
You understand? So a lot of things, only thing that BHS, that's what we had. Because that was back in the 8-track days. Mm-hmm. So everything wasn't recorded unless somebody had a wheel to wheel. If y'all know what a wheel to wheel is.
Yeah.
And look.
Oh, they don't. Kids don't know what they like. Wheels on wheels?
No, ain't meals on wheels.
It's the film where the little tape.
Oh, wow.
Wow, y'all making me feel, they like, oh.
That was gagging.
Yeah. So Megan, is there another question before we got 2 more questions before we
Well, there's 4.
Okay, then the only 4.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So, Princess Di's next.
Did y'all really jump Sanaya?
No.
There's a lot of like myths going out there and stuff like that.
That's a myth. You gotta give her love. She stood down with us for 20 years.
Yeah.
And I think that was kind of phased out, right?
Right.
That's a myth.
Yeah, people left with the separate things, and I think they kind of phased on the line was the fight.
Oh, I see what you were saying because when they left, you said when people left, they got.
Yeah.
No, that was
before.
That was way before that time.
It was before time.
Who's next? Who's next?
Rashad's next.
I think I'm on that also, sir.
Yeah, I'm good. Tiny is next.
So when you guys had the sign up sheets back in the day, do you think it's more efficient back then how contestants come in to walk their categories, or do you feel like it's more efficient back then?
Back then, it's more efficient because it cut down the time, confusion, because you would be at the ball on time to be able to sign up. Now you come in like you Miss Hollywood. You know what I'm saying? And you think the ball promoter got to wait to get you there because if you didn't make this time, your sign-up sheet, you wouldn't walk tonight. So you would be there. That's your business to be on time. These days, people just walk in the ball when they want to. and then feel that they supposed to hold the category. Back then, if you didn't sign up, you would not walk. They're not gonna hold no category. So I think back then is better.
Who else was it?
So Rome has a question, then I have one that's.
And then I said,
Yeah.
go ahead. Let's go.
Okay, because no, y'all not gonna keep raising hands.
No, that was it. That's it. If you and him, they were gonna go to. We'll have more questions.
The question that I had was, you said something about tables looking like Thanksgiving when, and I'm not kidding on the Thanksgiving party. So listen, y'all used to bring stuff to decorate your own tables and balls, like bring food to like the promoters didn't have that, but they did it for y'all.
No, the promoters gave us the space. We didn't have to pay for a table. Each house would bring their food. Each house parents, I don't know our other houses, but the house of Ebony, our parents would cook all day that Saturday and have it ready for us. And we had Miss Minnie, we had Greg Mother that would come to the ball to serve us. And so our food, anything you needed was on our table. See, the tables that y'all have these days, them little, we had the big round, the biggest ones. And the more food you had on the table, they know your house was fat.
Go ahead, bro.
Hello. I like to ask a quick question. With the vision of the house, the initial vision was family. What are two things what's one thing that you see that's going well as it pertains to the family aspect and the initial energy that the house was started with? And what's one thing that we've lost along the way as you've been observing us this weekend? What's one thing that's drastically different from that time to now?
Well, right now, what I see for this weekend, I love it. I hope this could continue as we go forward. I love divining and stuff like that. From the beginning, when we started this house, a lot of us didn't have family. A lot of us are brothers and sisters that we couldn't talk to. We didn't have nobody. And so when we came together as the House of Ebony, we was a close family. You know what I'm saying? Like it's days that we all went out. The boys went out and went to get the food, and we bring it home. The girls would cook. You know what I'm saying? We know what it is to break bread. We know what it is. If we don't have enough for one, nobody eat until we get enough for everybody. And that's the type of stuff that we did. You know, now what I see in this generation, this part of era of House of Ebony, y'all are in y'all separated. It's a link broke, and it could be fixed, but it's a link broke because we walk as one. You know, y'all don't speak we, y'all speak me. You understand?
Yeah.
And we spoke. It was us. So y'all have to get back to reaching out, understanding each other, understanding how to accept criticism, understand when you're wrong, you can accept it. If somebody came to you and said something, don't take it personal. Learn off of it, build off of it. What is the solution, what I can do? That's what this generation is lacking. Y'all don't want to be told nothing. Y'all think you know everything. Y'all haven't even been around the corner yet and know what's up the block. And you have people that's telling you something, people don't understand. When people tell you something, it's a message in what they're telling you. You're just not listening. It may not be right all the time that you want to hear that, but it's a message in it. And sometimes that we have to learn how to accept things to get back and get that change and move as a unit. What I see right now, this is what I want to see. I may not be here next year or whatever, but I appreciate being here today for this, to see my house come this far and see y'all all still here. We must be doing something right. It's something here that keeping everybody here. And so I just want to see y'all get like a family like y'all is today. Don't stop here. Don't stop here. I always tell my old generation, be my brother keeper.
Mm-hmm. And we're around now, Dalen, you had something for positive before we go into our because I got some names I'm gonna shoot off.
Okay.
So
Over the weekend, you've been breaking down history of the history of the house and teaching us all little by little. And there's a few things that I wanted to capture. I really don't know how to frame the question to get that out of you, but you'll know what I'm talking about. So, you were telling us that there were times when you first started the house that y'all were so hot and so effective that people would wait until the Ebonies got there to start their ball, and how we were a fashion house, but also a realness house, and how we brought the high end fashion to Ballroom and the furs and in the labels and things of that nature. The appeal of the house then, the era and the aura of the house then was very fab. And also, can you tell us about that? And can you also tell us about how our commentator, Ebony here, started LSS and Ballroom?
Okay, I was with the commentary. Richard used to be our commentary. Richard and Kenny Felder. And he the first one to start at LSS. And back then, each house had their own commentator. Junior LaBeija, I don't know, y'all learned that time he is not the only commentary. Everybody house had their own commentator. He did major balls. You know, he do major balls that you ask him to come and do. But 9 and 10, your own house members was your commentators. And when we first really start coming to the boards, when we first start breaking windows, and when we was first come to the board, everybody used to be in homemade garments. You know, leather versus suede, silk and stuff. They used to go to the garment district and steal material and skins and take it uptown, let the girls make it. All right. And we came in, they didn't understand our style because we had nothing but high end. And our girls, we used to dress our girls, Miss Susan, Shameka, Nikki Barnes' daughter. That's my daughter. Shameka's, Cheryl, and we used to, Mama, we used to dress them. But they came in the Lily Rubin, the Givenchy, the Tet Lapidus, you name it. It's not, it's stores I can't pronounce. Okay. And so when we, like I said, our first ball, major ball, we had did Louis Vuitton and Gucci that weekend. And we had 3 steam trunks with about 100 Louis bags. And we had Raymond and Rodney and Greg inside the steam trunks. When we dragged them out on the floor, they got out and started both throwing Louis. That's when we shut it down. Ever since then, they did not start a ball in New York until the House of Ebony came. Once we walked through the door, because we came in as a unit, we all came together. When we leave, we all leave together. And when we come in, if they would get on the mic, we could start the ball. That's how our era was. We walked in a unit, and we came in the ballroom to change. We changed the game because after we started wearing labels, all houses started leaving that homemade duty. The sequins, the crack ice, the bugle beads, the glue guns. They left all of that. And you know, and that's how the house fashion started in the house balls.
Now, if it's to give y'all a name, right? I'm gonna give y'all what? What happened?
Was the Louis? What year?
What year was that?
What year did you all start implementing labels into Ballroom?
I want to say in the 80s, the early 80s. the early 80s. And by the late 90s, a lot of us was in the penitentiary and stuff like that. And a lot of the game changed. You know, we left the windows and went into like instant credit, check writing. You know, we went into that. You know, money orders. We used to break into stores, and I take the blank money orders in the machines, and we sit down like we is now. We just print out thousands of money orders and give it to each other. We just go out and cash them.
That don't work today.
Mama used to cash them.
I always get it. So.
Don't be throwing her in this. You don't throw her in this.
She said, I have fun. Plenty of fun.
Don't bring her in this. You know, we don't know the limits of step, whatever they call it.
Yeah.
Let's over to
Okay.
Yeah, that's over to you.
So I'm gonna give y'all a name, 2 each, right? At random times. I want y'all to say the first word that comes to your mind when you hear this name. Okay? Now I'm gonna start with Pops. When you hear the name, the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear it. Pebble of Asians.
Over.
Why over?
Why? Because Pepper will give you a story. She's not good. You just have to get ready for Pepper. Pepper is not gonna come out there one piece. When Pepper walk, she give you a show. She give you a story. She give you a movie. Because that when she come out after she lift that cape and that back piece off, she got like 20 more outfits on.
Yes.
She gonna take a sleeve off and add a feather.
Yeah.
But she will break it down and she'll give you one story. It's just totally over.
Okay. Toya. God is Rodeo.
My granny, because that's LaBelle's mother. So that's my grand.
And LaBelle is
my father.
And what house he at?
He's a Balenciaga.
That's him. Okay, right.
But he used to be Father Ebony when I first came in.
Okay. Bam. James Icon.
My brother.
Your brother.
Mm-hmm.
And why they came to your mind besides him being your brother?
So James Icon is actually the first boy that I met that actually walked balls. And we built a strong bond, and we're still actually cool to death till this day right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Been a loyal brother to me for 30 plus years.
Mm-hmm. And Tayana, the Mario.
Yeah.
What word comes to your mind?
My day one, Rat-a-dat.
Why?
Believe it or not, DeMario was in Ballroom way before me. He was walking runway with a limp. That's my best friend, my brother. I can say that. Y'all can't. DeMario has been there for me. Most definitely. He held me down through a lot. So, personal, health wise, job wise, he's just been there for me.
Mm-hmm. Pops, and now this is your second one. First word that comes to your mind. Richard Ebony.
Oh. Richard was amazing. Amazing. Richard was the first Butch Queen mother of Ballroom. Richard was a nourisher. He was a guider, a protector. He was just an amazing person. Richard would, for any one of us, Richard would fight, cut you, you name it. But he's just an amazing all-around person. You talk about for a man to really have that mother instinct, Richard gave it to you. Richard, if we were sick, Richard gonna be there with the hot tea, the lemon.
Yes.
You know, Richard would leave his house to come over there to make sure you're good. Bring you food, bring you soup. He was a real mother. Ballroom to fuck with Richard. Because if one of his kids had a problem and you didn't come to see Richard, you're going to have a problem with Richard. Richard was a true mother to be a male. He was amazing.
Toya, what word comes to your mind when you hear Cassandra Eddy?
A real friend.
Yeah, real friend.
Mm-hmm.
That's my girl. Bam. Cabbage Eddy. It's a lot of words, but which word comes first?
When I think of cabbage, I will always say a fighter. We have a deep history with one another. Got a little emotional when you asked me that person's name. Yeah, a fighter. Loyal. Yeah.
Okay. I'm Tayana, because Midwest, you know. Berlin Ebony.
First. The first $1,000 winner.
Yeah.
The first $20,000 winner. That actually beat Tony, right?
I don't remember if he beat all of them.
Yeah, but for that first $1,000, Berlin was one of the ones that actually started traveling with me when I first became an Ebony. So she was there, and we was traveling everywhere. I think we are the reason why ATA is out of business. I don't know if you guys know about ATA, but that was a airline. Oh, this is being recorded, right? Yeah. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, Berlin was like one of those girls that actually had me out there too, going everywhere. I was never the type of person that ran away from home. But when Berlin said, "Bitch, we out of town," we was out of town. And my mom called me, "Where you at?" I'm spending the night over Berlin. I was like, "We in New York." So yeah.
Okay. Now we're gonna move to, and then after this one, then we'll go to the questions to wrap it up. We're gonna go into the future of Ebony. Okay. And Damon, you can lead it off. And this is for all of our overalls and our founding father.
Okay, so one of the questions that one of the kids gave me to ask Founder Larry is, what advice do you have for the newer and fresher leaders coming into Ballroom now, who are going to be charged with carrying the legacy after you all?
The advice I have for y'all new leaders is learn yourself before you can direct somebody else. If you telling somebody to do it, you walk it yourself. Mm-hmm. Anything I tell y'all, I do it myself. Anything I want for myself, I want for you. Always be a good listener. Sometimes we don't have an answer, but just be a good listener, because I learned from being a parent and a founder of a house with so many different attitudes and generations. I learned how to listen. And I learned, because sometimes your kids just want to vamp and they just want you to listen. You may not have an answer. It's time. This is my house. And I call J-Rock sometime and ask him, is this right? Because I'm not sure. I don't want to misinterpret something or lead you somewhere that I'm not comfortable with because I don't have an answer. So if he tell me, yeah, Pop, it's all right. Oh, no, Pop, don't do that. No, so I watch how my deliverance is. But the leaders, y'all have to stop being friendly. See, this the only time you're going to see me with y'all. You understand what I'm saying? Because y'all know I'm your father. I want to keep it like that, because when I say something to you, I want you to know I'm serious and you respect it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to sit there and we're going to be sitting down, we're going to be calling each other bitches and whores. And so when I say something, you would say, bitch, please. So I don't want that. So I nip that from the door. So that's why I give each one of y'all respect when I see y'all, because I always want that in return. And good leaders, you always demand that from your kids, and learn and teach them things that they can be successful with, productive with. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes kids, we can't come to our parents for advice and stuff like that. It's a lot of our family is really hurting. My phone means a lot. I'm not saying going into details with it, but I have a lot of conversation with people that's going through things. And sometimes they can't come to your leaders because they're not comfortable with it, because they feel that a lot of y'all is going to tell their business. Y'all have to learn that being leaders, y'all got to be gatekeepers too. And learn when to absorb stuff and keep it to yourself. Because sometimes your own daughter just needs your advice. And not when you get mad with her, you telling their business. Mm-hmm. And I always say that being a good leader, lead by example. Don't tell your kids something that you're not doing, because they're not going to respect you.
Tiana, what do you want to see like when it comes down to the future of this house? Even after you end up retiring from it, and if you just was to pop back in.
Again, to pick you back up for what he's saying, I want you guys to. It's a lot. I can go a lot of places with it, but I'm gonna say what he said, but I'm also add this in too. I want us to go back into our male figures catering to our females. Mm-hmm. We don't have that at all anymore like they used to. We're not.
That's individually.
Right. Yeah. That name right there, Delia. Prime example of how what used to be back in the day. You could not leave that table without this man saying, "Well, I'm gonna walk with you to this washroom." Mm-hmm. He do it all the time, and I think that we need to get back to that. I know y'all kind of both films, y'all both films, as like kind of masculine. You guys can do it too, because I could probably fight better than a trade. Okay. So I just want y'all to get back to that, and again, like you said, respect leadership, and y'all should be able to come and talk to leadership without your business getting out there. Most definitely.
Mm-hmm. Bam. Something you would like to see in the future, like when you didn't live and you come back and pop in, like, okay, Ebony doing their thing.
I guess for me, I would love to see that the house is still thriving forward, and that the presence of men are more, dominating in the house. Mm-hmm. But just to keep seeing Ebony win is always going to be always my goal. Just to see the house always win.
Mm-hmm. And mother, when you leave this and all that, what you want to see?
I just want the next round of leaders to take away the quality that they took from us and like just utilize that to benefit us. You know what I'm saying? To keep the legacy going. That's all. Mm. Like take away the thing that you feel is value, put your own unique touch to it, and just
make it your own.
Yeah.
I have a second part to that question for Toya. So, as someone who has had, and Tiana too, has had long years of reigning in your category, what advice do you have for the female figures to create longevity in ballroom? Because you've developed a household name, and I feel like some of our female figures are struggling to develop a household name. They want to reign in their category in ways that you have. So do you have any advice on how they can create that longevity?
I don't know. I just feel like you have to be dedicated and just stay true to yourself. You can't be nobody else but yourself. So you have to take your quality and just highlight it. Make it work for you. That's what I did.
Can I piggyback off of that?
Yes.
You have to be consistent. And everybody got to understand that the House of Ebony we just a blueprint, but your legacy comes from within you. And whatever you portray to be or what you want to be on the floor, it's the work you put into it. You got to get your own identity and make it your own.
Diana?
Exactly what Pop said. You have to get your own identity, make it your own, and just read these bitches. Y'all don't know how many times, and I've been in ballroom for, I'm not going to tell y'all how many years, but yeah, I've been in ballroom for a long time, and I am still nervous when I hit that.
Me too. And I'm nervous sitting right here in front of these lights. No shade.
Yeah, I am still nervous. I'm not going to tell y'all. It's so no. Get out there, read them business, do what you got to do. If you lose, I'm gonna get your brick ass the next time. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter. I say if I lose against a bitch, I still read their ass.
You better lose to bitch that win.
I lost. Guess what Toya said? Sister, this side I got this bitch.
Exactly.
And he came way back and just told that bitch, and I read this bitch. That's why you lost, bitch. So you got to make, you got to still have fun with it. You know what I'm saying? So hey, do what you got to do.
Period.
Yeah, another one. We gonna
No,
go.
that was my only one.
Okay. Now that we got that, we're gonna open it to these last questions before I wrap it up. We're gonna start with the overall print, and then if y'all have back there, make it just catch them and let me know and line them up.
Hi, bro. I would just like to ask. Okay, I would just like to ask individually, as people that are literally kind of the steam engine of the house that keeps it moving. What is the individual legacies that you would like to leave behind, or how would you like to be defined when we ask your name in the future, in action and in deed? What would you like for us to remember about you? Yesterday in the meeting, we talked about how Jahal left a legacy as overall father, how specific people like Sanaya left such a big legacy. It seems like people are always trying to fill that shoe or always trying to fit that mold. But what mold are you guys going to leave behind? Like, what is your specific, again, legacy that you like? In a few short words, I don't want to take up a lot of people's time, but, a few short words, what's your legacy? What you want to be remembered for now?
Well, to me, I just want to be remembered for he's a good man. He was a good daddy. He's a real daddy. That he I don't want one thing I could say. I could knock on wood. Not one thing y'all could say bad about me. Ballroom has never talked bad about me. I always been there. I've been a real daddy to a lot of y'all, and I'm still is. I just want to be remembered. When I leave here tomorrow, y'all will always say that's a good man. He did what he's supposed to do. I built a legacy here, a good platform. I gave us a safe space for us to go on, and I just want to say he was a good pop.
That's it. Toya, how you want to be remembered, Toya?
Well, outside of, just being solid for the house, I don't know, just a person that was always to stay the same. It was never like a question mark. Hell no, I shouldn't do that because I know my titi. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like that type of person. That's how I am. Not like a question mark. Like, it's just a clear, not a question mark.
Well, yeah, I know I'm the part one because I'm the youngest one out of all of them. I just want to be remembered as the fun, the fun one, the one that you guys can always count on, the one that's gonna always be there in y'all group talking shit with y'all. Even when I step back, I'm gonna still be there, like that old lady is right there. But
you talking about mama?
yeah. So I'm going to always, regardless, be here with y'all. So just know that's how I want y'all.
Hey, ma'am, how you want your legacy to be remembered? Like, who the hell is that?
So I remember when I was asked that question a long time ago. I think in the beginning, before I even got like in this spot, I think my legacy in Ballroom, I just always wanted to be feared because I was a troublemaker. I do think now with me growing up, I think I want to be remembered as a man that changed his ways to become more productive in his real life. So, and I take that from, Pop Dre. And I think, my life has shifted because I've seen some things that he's done. So I think my legacy would be that he's a changed man. The fact that I changed a lot to better myself.
Okay.
And may I add, I'm sorry, that I am a winning bitch. Diana, when you got that door, y'all know she's gonna win. Thank you.
Somebody got who was first?
But y'all didn't go. They rocked you overall. They went international.
No,
All right, girl. Next
we were the
question.
interviews. It was for them. We'll get to our.
Go ahead and give an answer.
But we can give an answer if you want. That's okay.
That said the whole entire man. I didn't.
Oh, he said the panel. I thought you were talking about for the overall. It's okay. It's okay.
For me, I would like to be remembered as someone who, well, I feel like I'm a sweetheart. But I'm definitely someone that's down for my family and that's down for my siblings in this house. I definitely want to be remembered for that, if anything, and someone that was devoted to the iconic house of Ebony. Outside of things that I do for the house, I feel like I have a strong legacy in community as well. I have a house in Pittsburgh that is the Dalen House for people who are unhoused. I have 5 beds there, so I definitely have a few things that I want to be remembered for as far as contributions to Ballroom. But yeah.
You're so smart.
Thank you.
So, before we go to the questions, me personally, I have to align mine with Toya. And the reason why I align mine with Toya is because I've never been one of. You don't have to question nothing about Ebony with me. There is no questioning with me. If you're questioning me about Ebony, you would question me about Johnson. My name is Cedric Johnson. So if my name is never going to be Cedric Jackson or Cedric Lewis or anything like that, because I don't see it for those motherfuckers. I see it for me and who I am, right? And who I am is an Ebony. You don't ever have to question, did I do what I was supposed to do? Did I not do it? I've never been that member. That's why I hold everybody so accountable, because I held myself accountable as just a member. So I'm not no better than the next person. I can only be J-Rock. I want people to know that I was genuine, that when I came through, I came through. When I said I was going to do something, I did it. And I did it beyond your expectation. That is just things that I hold myself to. I really believe in who you are is what you do when nobody's looking. And when nobody's looking, I'm thinking about how's Spice doing? How Riri doing on the West Coast? How this person doing? I wonder what's going on with them. I hope they're good. I'm praying for these. This is what I'm doing when nobody's looking. So that's why when y'all see me in person, that comes over. I want to be remembered as a genuine person, and I was real as fuck. Fuck realness on Ballroom. I'm real in reality. Okay? So that's what I want to be remembered as. Who had the questions?
The next question would be from Junior.
Junior. All right, Godfather Light Bright.
Nah, but there's been like this thing with the older generation and the younger generation. There's always been like this disconnect when Ballroom has been in this transition in the past couple of years. From this retreat to this weekend, and all your experiences in here, and with the younger generation actually connecting and being up close and personal, how do you guys feel the connection will be going forward for you?
Well, for me, I feel like it should be stronger because this is the place that you can figure out different forms of communication, because you can't communicate with everybody the same. So I would use this as the pilot for that. So like moving forward, you'd be able to, it wouldn't be no problem because you would know how to communicate. It's, for me.
Somebody else?
And if you want to communicate with your leaders, we're here to get numbers down, so that you can communicate or do whatever, ask questions, get closer. Because a lot of, when we sit in the group, listening, a lot of our members in the group don't think that we're approachable. But I'm not going to put myself in it because y'all talk to me on the same. But a lot of y'all think that the leaders here are not approachable. But I think they are. You already know who I was looking at. Well, some of them are, but but we are approachable. So if you guys want to try to talk to them, I think before I speak for everybody,
I would say this though, because it just makes perfect sense. As y'all can see, it's not a lot of people here. This is the first. This is the first. But when y'all go back and tell how y'all weekend was, that's gonna make other people want to go to the next one, right? We cannot be close. That's even just in any family. When your family is a spread apart family, a lot we hate coming together. And I know, especially in the black community, when we say it's a funeral. You know what I'm saying? Or somebody got married, you be like, oh, I ain't seen you in a long time. When you have things like this where we can come together and not be in a ballroom setting and just sideline conversations. We got 3 houses here. 3 big, huge houses. People in this house talking, people in that house talking, people talk. I ain't never even, like y'all said, I didn't know who you were. I never met you. I know when y'all start meeting and y'all start talking across the lines, that bond becomes stronger. It's gonna go over into social media now, right? Why? We see a lot of people with the name Ebony, but then you have to ask yourself, from where? Who is that? Once we start learning, like doing this type of stuff, now when something happens on social media, now when something happens in public, you got these 100 and something people saying, "What's up?" And who is you talking to? Because that's my brother, that's my sister. You know what I'm saying? Or the tiny gonna say, "That's my daughter. What's up?" So, who was the next one?
I want to chop. I want to chop. I want to.
Oh, you can chime in.
When we talk about generational gaps, I think that what we learned this weekend, especially throughout the workshops, is that communication heals a lot of the things people complain about, and communication and understanding. And I think that opportunities like these, where we sit around, because we shouldn't be sitting up under them all the time and kikiing. But when they come out for things like this is your time to bond. This is your time to ask questions. This is your time to build that rapport with them and get what you need out of them, right? And we're a huge house. We're international. We're all over, right? So we could all go out and walk 3 balls, and you might see 1 of the 2, 1 of the 3, 3 out of the 4, depending on where you are and where you go. So I think that spaces like this are key to filling that gap between the generations. However, if we all do our part, like we talked about over the weekend, then we can create more spaces like this where we can have the time for bonding, communication, and understanding.
Next question, baby.
Yeah, because we don't want all these other houses.
Oh, my last question. It's like a slide to one. When is the next house ball? When is the performance lineup getting adjusted?
That's probably
breaking it up.
That's probably a meaty question.
Well, I know about the next house ball will be our 50th.
Right.
We're not gonna give a ball every year. Our next ball will be 3 years.
Put it like this. I'm at the helm of this. You see what I'm saying? I'm not supposed to play with it.
She's still
So my
scoring.
thing is, now what if God says the same, because I got my little benefits and stuff. I want my own fucking venue. You know why? We finish when the fuck we finish. If y'all see it, y'all see it. Y'all don't. Because that's one of the biggest problems in ballroom if you're a promoter and everything. Sometimes they'll tell you got time. But when they see that money coming in, now all of a sudden we don't have time, or they take your money to extend time and up the price. Everybody that's through a ball know how we have to deal with these promoters, and then you have to say, y'all don't know how many, and I know Tayana can speak to this, Daly can speak to this, me and Pops, Toya, how many times somebody said something was $1,000, but when they seen that crowd, they was like, oh, I mean, it's gonna be about 2,500 to let y'all stay for an hour. Now you gotta say to yourself, do I take this money out of my pocket and I've already lost, because ballroom is not making no money. Do I take this little I do have and go negative and let the ballroom continue the ball, or do I just tell them the category's over? And that's why it's so frustrating when somebody now you wanna fight. Now you wanna do this. You don't even know in the background, I'm spending money out of my pocket, even when what came to the door, the grand prizes, to keep it going. So when it comes down to our house ball, the next house ball, my main concern is my own shit, time, so we can do what we want to do the way that we want to do it without having to rush or have to lean on anybody else. Justice for the performance team.
Can I add on to that? Can I add on to that? I kind of apologize to the people on scene because it was my fault. Me and J Rock was on the stage, so he actually fought for y'all. But my thing was to give our patrons what they wanted. No shade. No, again, that's my style. I want to apologize to you guys because my thing is I believe in our paying patrons coming in, getting their thing, getting to their categories. Because if we didn't, they'll be like, oh, they didn't want to do it no way. They did this long ass, drawn out grand house, matter like the house up. I ain't gonna say, but yeah, that's kind of my fault, and so that's why when it did happen, we kind of rushed it because you want to give them something.
Yeah, go to the back and line it up. Let's go.
It's kind of my fault.
We infiltrated the house.
Charge to my,
But people don't understand what we go through as having boards and stuff. Just like, for instance, our last house board, we gave out $28,000. All right. Then we turned around OTA and gave it. Me and Uncle Mike took it out of our own pockets and gave out $7,000. Okay, and they still wasn't happy. People gotta understand, it don't be the house, it be the promoter. Me and J Rock, we had the 24 karat platinum in Dallas. Pack house. This lady took $2,500 from us and told us that's for another hour. That bitch went back there and cut the lights off. Took $2,500 from us and went back and after he took our money and cut the lights off.
I just want you out.
She said, I want all y'all out of here. And she didn't give us our money back. So it don't be the houses, it be the promoter.
And might I add,
it be the venue owner.
And might I add before we move to those last questions, because we're gonna wrap it up. That was an opportunity for me and Pops to just say, it is what it is.
Or crash it up.
And I'm gonna be very transparent to this. And hold up. And I'm gonna be very transparent on this camera to show you what type of people we are and what type of person this man is. When I went over to his house, I counted out $15,000 on his bed from 24 karat weekend. I counted out $15,000. We could have just said, it is what it is. But you know what we did? We came back in October. We said we're gonna give those people what they came for. And people did not pay attention to this part. If you walk that second 24 karat ball, go back to not if you won, if you walk, go back to the door and get your
money. We gave everybody their entry fee back.
All tables free.
And everything. We gave them food.
Just so we can show you what type of people we are. Yeah. We could have did anything other promoter did, which was, bitch, we could have kept that 15. So I just wanted to show y'all that's the kind of person that trained me in ballroom. When we was like, J Rock, we gotta do this. We got to.
I commend y'all because I would have dashed. I'd have been out of there. Do you hear me?
We had $15,000 for 3 months.
Oh my goodness!
And to give it back. I ain't want to hear nobody mouth.
You did a good job.
Tiny.
You need the question. Hello. This is my question for the Philippines specifically. Especially for Sayana. Oh, I'm a woman. Don't say that. Growing up being around a lot of drag queens and just growing up as just being a woman, period. How was your mental health and how did you deal with navigating through your guys' transition?
Oh wow. How can I say this? Me, I have always thought that I have always been a woman. I have always been a woman in my head. Transitioning, I have always thought about it. I always thought about it, but I never acted on it because of the people that I was around. Growing up, I grew up, like I said, around a lot of people, and especially Coffee and Stacy. That made me change my mind on actually want to transition to being a female figure, queen. Mentally, mentally, how can I say it? It kind of messed with it a little bit. It kind of messed with it a little bit. I get emotional when I talk about things
That's
like
cool.
that. But I just never just went through with it. Just put it that way. But I was strong enough not to. I was strong enough to stay myself, who I wanted to be. So that's why when y'all see me, y'all probably think I'm a film queen. I never bumped into a mom. I never did any of those things. I just always, just
Being real. Living like
right. And like now, I got my twins, dog, and they probably think like I'm a, well, I am a woman, but they probably think that I was born that I was, but I wasn't. But it's just. I don't know how to say it because I'm not a Bush Queen and Dragon. I'm not a film queen, and I'm not a woman either. I'm just all fucked up. That's what I mean by messing with your mental. You know what I'm saying?
Lord,
That's what I'm saying. I mess with your mental.
Let's bring it back. That was a good question.
Yeah.
Well, I don't mind people different because like I have like a really close knit family. So like my mother and my father was like my biggest supporters. So I never really it was never like really tension there or like any stress. So it was always supported. That's why it probably came out like just organic because yeah, they were really hands-on and supportive. So I love it.
Megan.
Yeah, they my biggest fans.
All right.
Yeah, go ahead. Okay, sorry, y'all. I don't know. I'm sorry. My question is specifically for Dalen. Dalen, as someone who has more hands-on with all the chapters and a liaison between the chapters to the board, how do you feel about the future of this house? Like, what is are you optimistic? What does it look like to you? Like that, like, do you feel like as someone who is more hands-on with everybody, all the children, all the leaders, all that, like, how do you feel in that future?
For me particularly, I try to and I know this goes for Junior as well. We try to be a voice, and carry things back to the board or to our overalls in a way that reflects, some of your guys's opinions and feedback. It gets tricky. I talk to my international kids every day, and it's even tricky doing that because I have to translate all day long. So keeping them all on the same page, and then I communicate with the Midwest region every single day, and they're crazy. So communicating with them, and then just taking direction from the board and from our overalls, and trying to make sure that we execute things as a whole. I am optimistic about the future of this house. I think that we have all the tools that we need to succeed. I think that we have the best house name and legacy in Ballroom. No one has, I know that some other houses advertise 50 years, but no one has been as effective and has had the longevity that the iconic House of Ebony has had in Ballroom. And when you carry the House of Ebony name, you're carrying a very rich name, a very rich legacy. And we have always been trendsetters. And I think that we have the right people in this house to continue this legacy and to take this legacy to the next level. However, I think that we've identified a lot of things throughout the weekend that we all can take home and do our part to do our homework to come back better. And, we all have work to leave this weekend with, including myself, so that we can come back better for next year. So just do your part and, as individuals, as all of us, and do the work within you so that we can just continue this strong legacy and do what we need to do. But I'm very optimistic about because we have the talent. We've always had the talent.
But before we go, because we talked about a lot of stuff today, and, people are going to have their perceptions and everything or whatever. But can each one of the overalls tell me some things that y'all are doing outside of Ballroom that people may not know that you do when it comes down to just everyday living in a positive life and things that they may not know because they thinking, oh, that's a Ebony, that's a Ebony. Pops, starting with you.
Well, I'm a business owner. I have a trucking and moving company. I specialize in senior moving and relocation. I've been an owner for 26 years. I go to all the states. It's a lot of Ebonies that work for me. A lot of Ebonies I took down there to get them started. When they left me, they had apartments, they had cars and everything. And so,
On their feet.
like, yeah, I'm a business owner, Black business owner, doing well.
Overall, mother, what are some things that you got doing on the outside?
Well, on the outside, I'm being my own self. I do everything as a self entity, and I'm self-employed. But I also am still like balancing like real trauma and realities of real world, and just navigating that space. So that's what I'm doing.
Okay. Overall, father, you got some things going on.
Yeah. So currently, I'm actually a foster father of a 17-year-old boy who actually just turned 17 last Saturday. I've been doing foster kid now for about 6 years. I've probably housed in 6 years over 10 boys at my home. Just recently, I opened up Bam's Haven. I got my now working on my 501c3 because the goal is to get a bigger house to actually do where I can have more boys living in one house. The overall goal of the house is to mentor, support males that are actually pushed out of foster care because sometimes they get put out for things that they do. I work in the health field. So I'm doing some things though, but I love kids. That's my thing.
And Tiana?
Well, as goofy as I am, I'm also a foster mother of 3. My youngest is 3.
He a G.
I'm also a nurse, LPN, registered. One for severe registered nurse, but I'm LPN. And with that, I am low key training with the fire department, so I'm trying to switch over and be a paramedic. So yeah,
We're paramedic. And since they asked the whole panel, this is everything. Balin, tell us some things that you do. I lived in Erie, Pennsylvania. So I know that you are a man out there.
Make it short, sweetie.
So in my main job that I do, I'm a clinic director of an LGBTQ focused medical clinic. It's called Central Outreach Wellness Center, but I run the Erie location. I've been with that company for 9 years. I'm also the founder of a nonprofit called Erie Pride 365. We offer training and education around gender identity and sexuality and workplace diversity. I'm also a project manager of $1 million renovation project on Parade Street. It's called Buying Back the Block. I'm also the vice president of their board. And then if you all know Dina Balenciaga from Pittsburgh, me and her are co-founders of Pittsburgh Pride. So we do a yearly festival that caters to about 300,000 people every year. So in my off seasons of Ballroom, I'm planning for my festival for the following year. And I am in the process of becoming a licensed ordained minister at my church. So I'm very hands-on with my church, but yeah, that's what I'm doing right now.
And the reason I do that is so y'all can see that it's more than just Ballroom with your overalls and we have things going on and we're actually out there doing things in the community, in the world, and we're productive citizens out there. It's not just what they like to put on us. You know what I'm saying? You pointing at me. Me, myself, I am a retired United States Navy chief with 21 years of service.
We are. All right.
And I'm also the CEO of Tender Tots Entertainment LLC, which is a human rights organization award-winning platform.
Yes.
So we're doing things out here. We're not just ballroom. Your leaders are actually out here doing stuff. And we do this, and I got this from Pops, and he can attest to this. He literally told me one day, and I like to be transparent and be real, you know what I'm saying? Because we real up here. You know, Pops had a ticket that he forgot about.
Yeah.
And we live in America where they make things so over 11 years, this ticket was, and he got pulled over and they took him to jail. And when they took him to jail, me trying to figure out where is Pops, he ain't answered the phone. When I found out he was in jail, I'm thinking it's a ticket, you know. It was 11 years old. We knew you was over there by White Settlement, and that's what it's called, White Settlement. And they took you to jail on an old ticket. But when I got down there to that jail to go check on him, he was on the other side of that glass, and I've never seen him look like that. He did not want me to see him on that side. And I'm trying to see what's going on with the ticket. And he said, I don't ever want an Ebony to see me like this. I don't want what they know about us to be their future. That's why he owns his own company. That's why he's out there thriving. And you can speak to that.
I just want to say one thing. 3 years ago, I was driving my Cadillac truck. I was going to the cleaners, getting me and my partner clothes out the cleaners. And so when I came out the cleaners, it was about 20 police outside. Guns to me and everything, towed my car, wouldn't let me go out. So they took me down to federal court, right? And they arrested me for carpel. You know what carpel mean? Somebody said that I had 5 whores out there. I was trafficking girls. J-Rock knew, Bam knew, but they said I was trafficking girls
from Mexico,
all over different states and stuff like that. I had to get out on $100,000 bond. Me and my baby was going to buy this house, so we had to use that. I didn't call nobody. Nobody knew I was in trouble. I walk around with a monitor on my ankle for 1 year. I had to pay $100 a month to go to work for myself. At the end, I went through this for a whole year. A whole year. I had to get new numbers because they was monitoring my phone. They wouldn't let me have no apps because they was underage girl. And at the end, when I went to court, they threw it out because the girls lied. But I never got my money back. Yeah. So I've been through some things, but you would never know it. Because I try to, I don't want to see y'all go through nothing.
We still in the corner.
Let me tell you. Hold on. Let me tell you, even after I put up my bonds money, I put up another $7,000 for a private investigator, and it wasn't worth suing because she only had a beat up car.
Oh, shit.
I did my homework.
Okay,
I didn't want it because I already got 4 of my own.
So with that being said, I want y'all to give our overalls a round of applause for doing this. Because I know a lot of y'all probably was like, well, what is that going to be like? What is it going to be when y'all kept saying what we're going to do to get to know your overalls, all this stuff. Then y'all walked in here and y'all was like, what the hell is these damn lights and shit? Wait, we really doing this? And even with them, they're like, wait, we have the real lights? What is going on? No, this is what y'all are a part of. We ain't no fake shit. Y'all got real stuff going on around here. We didn't say just pull out no, this is real stuff. I like doing real things. I like being big ball and shot call, and I don't got time for that. Okay? So thank y'all for even being open, being, genuine with these questions and everything. And with that being said, that's a wrap. This is our retreat. Hopefully we do good for next.
But people don't